could literally drink this sauce. That's how yummy it is.
Hi, welcome to Yvonne's Tastes of Asia. Every 2 weeks, I'll be showing you how to make my favorite dishes from 10 different parts of Asia so you can see how easy it is to make one of these delicious, authentic dishes right at home. No need to travel thousands of miles or spend lots of money at a restaurant anymore. And most importantly, you'll learn how to make something super yummy and impress your friends and family. Welcome to our 5th episode. Today, we'll be going to Malaysia. Yummy! When I think of Malaysia, I always think about massive explosions in the mouth. And my favorite Malaysian dish, next to classics such as nasi lemak and roti canai, is most definitely satay ayam.
In Malaysia, you can find these delicious grilled marinated meat skewers being sold by street vendors. The origin is debated, but it's been said that satay originated on the Indonesian island of Java. It supposedly was developed and based on the Indian kebabs brought by Muslim traders. In Malaysian cuisine, the satay marinade consists of mashing delicious aromatics such as shallots, lemongrass, galangal, and garlic into a smooth paste, whereas in Indonesia, it is often marinated with similar aromatics and served with an Indonesian sweet soy sauce.
These delicious morsels of grilled meat are then dipped in a delicious, rich and luscious peanut sauce that just makes this dish all around very, very addictive and just so satisfying. So I'm not gonna lie, this dish has a lot of different ingredients and a few steps that may not be super intuitive. So we're gonna walk through all the steps in terms of how to make this delicious dish right in your own home kitchen. So of course, to make chicken satay, we're gonna need some chicken. So I've got about 1 kilo or 2 pounds of chicken thighs that I've defatted and cut into about 1-inch cubes. Guys, don't use white meat, use dark meat. Dark meat has all the flavor, it's more moist, it's more juicy. 5 million reasons to use dark meat over white meat, so use it here. And of course, we've got a few spices. So we've got about 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, and then 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, about 6 to 8 shallots that I've sliced up and also skinned, a little bit of sweetener. We've got about 2 tablespoons of palm sugar. I get my palm sugar from a Thai grocery store that I love in Woodside. About 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of dark soy sauce, 3 cloves of garlic, and also about a 2-inch piece of galangal. And you may be wondering, what is galangal? Galangal is kind of like the cousin of ginger that's a lot more citrusy. It's kind of piney in flavor. It's just really, really aromatic and very citrusy. It's totally different than ginger. So you don't want to use ginger as a substitute if you can't find galangal. Unfortunately, here in New York, galangal is pretty hard to source unless you have access to a good Thai grocery store. I happened to go when they were out of stock of fresh galangal. So the next best thing that I had was their frozen galangal, which you can buy in slices in these bags. So this is about a half-pound bag of frozen galangal. It already comes sliced, so as long as it's defrosted, you can just use these pieces. Another aromatic that is very common in Southeast Asian cooking is lemongrass. You really can't have Southeast Asian food without lemongrass. Lemongrass is exactly what it sounds like. It is very lemony, it's very grassy, it has a very citrusy smell and flavor, and it's very, very distinctive as well. The key though when you're buying lemongrass is that you want to make sure that you have nice, tall, healthy stalks, and you're really only going to be using the bottom tip of probably about 2 to 3 inches. This top part that is more green, you're not going to use it. You're just basically going to cut it off and discard it. So if you ever buy lemongrass that is already pre-cut, you know that it's good lemongrass if they're giving you that base that is more white colored. If it's more green color, it probably means that they're giving you the filler that you don't want. So the way that you want to prep the lemongrass is you want to put it down on a cutting board, probably cut just about the bottom 3 inches, and then just cut the ends off. Lemongrass is very tough, so it may take a little bit of arm strength to do this. citrusiness just explodes in your face when you cut it. So once you cut off the bottom, probably 3 inches of the lemongrass, you want to just snap off this end. So we're just going to cut that off. Once you have this, now you want to remove the outside layer that's quite hard. So remove this, and then you've got this nice fresh piece of lemongrass here. So now we're gonna take these stalks of lemongrass and just kind of smash them lightly with your knife. So we're just gonna cut them up. Just gonna help along the mortar and pestle by just finely mincing up the lemongrass, especially since it's quite woody. Now I want to get the marinade ready, so we're going to set the chicken aside and we're going to take everything for the marinade except for the 3 spices and the oil. We're going to dump everything into the mortar and pestle. Of course, if you don't have a mortar and pestle, don't worry, you can also throw this into a blender or a food processor. The idea behind the mortar and pestle, if you've watched my mortar and pestle pesto video, and if you haven't seen that, make sure to watch it. I'll link it down in the description box down below. Is that with a mortar and pestle, you're not grinding the ingredients and ripping them apart. Instead, you're going to be pounding them, and then what that ultimately does is it breaks down the cell walls of each individual ingredient to really allow for the maximum aroma and flavor to come out of each of the ingredients. So now we're gonna dump all these in. And the spices, also add in the oil. So after a lot of intense arm workout with this mortar and pestle, this paste and marinade should start looking a little bit something like this. So we're just gonna add all this marinade into the bowl with the chicken and then mix it all up. The chicken marinade is done. We're just gonna let it sit overnight to just maximize the chicken absorbing all those delicious aromatic flavors. So I'm gonna cover this with plastic wrap, set it in my fridge, and I will see you tomorrow. Welcome back. It's the next day and we've allowed our chicken to marinate in the fridge overnight in all those delicious aromatics. I cannot wait to finally start cooking this, but before we start getting to this, I want to make peanut satay sauce that is going to go with these delicious chicken skewers. For the peanut sauce, we're gonna break it into 2 parts. So there's going to be the spice paste and then there's going to be the base. For the spice paste, we'll need 10 dried chilies. So these, I have soaked them in warm water for about 10 minutes, de-seeded them and roughly chopped them. We've also got 4 cloves of garlic that I've roughly chopped, 1/2-inch piece of galangal, 5 fat shallots roughly sliced, 1 stalk of lemongrass, cut it into thirds. The bottom third I've roughly chopped, and the other pieces I smashed and left them as thin slices because we're going to use that just for the aroma. Then for the base of the peanut sauce, of course for peanut sauce we'll need peanuts. So I've got 1 cup of roasted peanuts, 1 heaping tablespoon of tamarind pulp, 1 tablespoon of neutral oil, 2.5 tablespoons of palm sugar. You can also use brown sugar if you don't have palm sugar, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 cup of water, and then 1 tablespoon of sweet soy sauce. This is the brand of sweet soy sauce that I like. So we'll start by dumping all of the peanuts into a food processor and then processing them until they are super fine. So after blitzing, peanuts should look something like this. Now we'll blend the spice paste. So everything is gonna go into our trusty mortar and pestle, except for those long stalks of lemongrass. We're gonna set those aside. After a lot of pounding, the spice paste should look a little something like this. Now we're really gonna put this peanut sauce together. So we're gonna move over to our stove, where I'm gonna put my pot over medium heat. I'm gonna add in that oil. When spicy, add in all the other ingredients. Tamarind juice, sweet soy sauce, palm sugar, coriander, salt, water, ground peanuts. Stir to combine. It's finally time to cook the chicken. So In order to cook the chicken, there are two different ways. You can either grill it or you can put it on a pan over the stove. So I unfortunately do not have access to a grill, but no worries, we're gonna cook it in our cast iron so that we're still gonna hopefully get those nice charred marks. So in order to do this, to do it the traditional way, we're going to skewer all of the chicken pieces onto bamboo skewers. So I've got a bunch of bamboo skewers right here that I've soaked in water for about 2 hours. The reason you want to soak the bamboo skewers is that when you put them over a flame, it's going to prevent them from getting too charred and from breaking and from burning. Don't want any burns. So we're going to start by taking one skewer, and then we're going to put about 3 to 4 pieces of chicken on each of the skewers and continue the process. Finally skewered all of the chicken pieces. This is ready to go. Just gonna heat up the cast iron and put a little bit of oil in it and then get this stuff smoking. Are you still watching? How can you not watch when there's all this delicious meat right here? Make sure to give this a thumbs up. Okay, so this pan is on medium heat. Feels quite hot, and I put some oil in it. So now we're just gonna put the skewers on, cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Woo! Hear that sear? Sizzle, sizzle. Okay, time to flip. Ooh, look at that sear. Ooh. Oh yeah. I think these babies are done. Put them on a towel lined pan and then continue the process. Whew, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty exhausted right now. This was a big, laborious project to make these Malaysian satays, but I think it was really worth it. The whole kitchen smells super yummy right now. It's really fragrant. It's even a bit smoky because of all of the meat. So usually in Malaysia, when you get served chicken satays, it'll always be served with the peanut satay sauce. But in addition to that, you also will have bits of cucumber as well as red onion, mainly because when you're eating the chicken satays with the rich peanut sauce, you want to pair the richness of these flavors with something that's cooling and refreshing like cucumber and onion. Okay, and now we take a taste. Dip it in the peanut satay sauce. Mmm! Wow! This is flavor packed. It's got so many different flavors going on. You can taste the lemongrass, the galangal, the garlic, the turmeric. So many different spices all at once. Woo! And it's really spicy. Whew! Added 10 chilies to this peanut sauce and it really went a long way. Spicy, sweet, savory, salty, super umami. And the chicken is just perfectly tender. Super moist, really tender. See? That's why I use dark meat. Dark meat's more forgiving. It's got more flavor, it's more tender. You can cook it longer and it won't dry out. Still super moist. So I'll be honest, this was quite a bit of work. A lot of different spices, a lot of pounding, a lot of chopping, a lot of processing. But I really think that if you want to impress your friends and family or do this for a dinner party or special occasion, the effort is definitely worth it. This peanut satay sauce, I could probably just drink it. So this wraps up another episode of Yvonne's Taste of Asia, where I show you how to make one of my very favorite dishes across different countries in Asia so that you can impress your friends and family at home. Where are we going off to for our next episode of Yvonne's Taste of Asia? Well, stay tuned to find out. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to hear what your favorite Malaysian dish is. Please remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get immediate notifications as soon as I upload my next video. Thanks again for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye! Isn't it beautiful?